The movie begins with a man named Reed Richards, also known as Mr. Fantastic, searching for his medicine, while his wife, Sue Storm, is in the bathroom taking a pregnancy test. Moments later, the result turns out positive, leaving Sue overjoyed. She approaches Reed, shows him the test, and reveals that she is pregnant. Reed, overwhelmed with happiness, kisses his wife. On his show, Ted Gilbert narrates the tale of 4 brave astronauts who ventured into space, where they encountered a mysterious cosmic storm that forever altered their lives. This fateful mission transformed them into extraordinary beings, superheroes destined to protect humanity. The crew consisted of Reed Richards, Sue Storm, Ben Grimm, and Johnny Storm. While their original goal was to explore the unknown, the storm gifted them unprecedented cosmic powers. Each of them emerged changed. Together, they became known as the Fantastic Four. Their heroic legacy is showcased when the villain Mole Man attacks the city, sinking a massive building beneath the earth. The Fantastic Four leap into action, rescuing the civilians trapped inside and thwarting his destructive rampage. Later, inside the Baxter building, Ben and Johnny, both famished, prepare dinner with help from Herbie, their robot assistant. Just then, Reed and Sue arrive, looking flustered. Ben, quick to notice, senses that Sue is pregnant and asks her directly. With a glowing smile, Sue nods in confirmation. Overjoyed, Ben and Johnny warmly congratulate Reed on becoming a father. Reed orders Herbie to unplug the switchboards to keep the upcoming member of the Fantastic Four family safe. On the other hand, the talk of the town is whether the baby will be born with superpowers or not. While working on a project, Reed hears a new deep space transmission. He walks up to the control panel to find out the origin of the signals. Later, he and Johnny run a test on an egg, trying to teleport it and successfully pulls it off, but the experiment causes a power outage in the Baxter building. Later, Reed runs a test on his unborn baby to determine whether it will have superpowers or not. Sadly, the result comes back normal. In the busy marketplace, Ben grabs everyone's attention. There, some children urged him to lift up a car parked on the street. To entertain them, the magnanimous Ben lifts up the car and gently sets it down. Reed later tells Ben and Johnny that he has been tracking several criminal organizations, including the Puppet Master in the Bowery and the Wizard in Gramercy Park. However, Ben insists it's dinner time and heads toward the table only to notice a strange collision lighting up the night sky. Without delay, Johnny rockets into the air to investigate the massive explosion. There, he encounters a mysterious silver surfing woman. The Silver Surfer descends to Earth, leaving the public astounded. She looks around and confronts the Fantastic Four, asking them if they are the protectors of the planet. Sue responds affirmatively. The Surfer then declares that Earth has been marked for death and will soon be consumed by the Devourer Galactus, against whom they are powerless. She asks everyone to hold their loved ones close and speak the words they've been too afraid to say, as Galactus is coming to consume their world. Panic spreads among the onlookers before she vanishes at lightning speed. Johnny chases her into space, but his powers fail to work outside Earth's atmosphere. Holding onto her board, he hears her speak in her own language, though he cannot understand her words. Back at the Baxter building, Ben asks how Galactus can possibly consume an entire planet. Reed explains that he has identified 5 annihilated planets ravaged by Galactus and located the Surfer's energy to a planet designated DA-773. He then suggests traveling into space to confront Galactus before he arrives on Earth. Fantastic Four address the public, announcing that they will venture into space to face Galactus in his own realm. The excited crowd gathers to see off the Fantastic Four as Ben, Reed, Sue, and Johnny board their spaceship and set course for the stars. Amid the silence of space, They spot a planet 13% larger than Earth and detect the Herald's heat signature within it. As they approach, the planet suddenly explodes.
Sue, hide us! It's 13% larger than Earth.
Moments later, their vessel is pulled inside an immense, colossal spaceship. The Silver Surfer appears, breaking into their craft and informing them that Galactus wants to see them.
Galactus will see you.
I'll go.
They are taken into Galactus's realm. Sue cautiously asks how Galactus chooses which planet to consume. The Surfer coldly replies that she chooses, not him. Johnny presses her to reveal what she whispered to him when she cast him from her board. The Surfer explains without hesitation. She told him to die with his world. At last, they stand before Galactus, a cosmic entity towering far beyond human scale. The Fantastic Four freeze in awe and fear as the colossal being speaks, explaining that he too was once small like them long ago, before he was cursed with eternal, insatiable hunger. Reed, nervous but steady, says they came hoping to negotiate. Galactus then presents them with a terrifying offer. He will spare Earth, but only if Sue surrenders her unborn child to him. The god claims the baby holds the power cosmic and is destined to inherit his throne. Reed quickly dismisses this, insisting he has tested the child thoroughly and the results show the baby is normal. Galactus roars at Reed in reply.
He hides his nature.
To make matters worse, the baby starts coming out of Sue's womb. Reed warns Galactus that he will never give his son to him nor the Earth. Before long, Johnny attacks Galactus while Reed and Ben strive to escape from Galactus' spaceship with Sue. The Herald rushes to stop Johnny from doing further destruction. The enraged Herald launches a fierce attack on the panicking Fantastic Four in an attempt to snatch Reed's baby, who is enough to satisfy Galactus' hunger. The troubled Fantastic Four manage to get inside their spaceship in time and expeditiously flee from Galactus' realm. However, the Herald tries to wrest Sue's unborn baby, but Ben saves it at the last moment by flying the spaceship at lightning speed. Nonetheless, the Herald shows up again and chases the ship. Ben spots a massive neutron star, and Reed suggests that they use it as a trap. Reed asks Ben to draw the Herald close enough to the star where she will get stuck in the gravity well. Ben unwillingly follows his command and lures the unflinching Herald to the seeming black hole. However, they also begin to be swallowed by neutron stars in the process. Reed urges Sue to use her power and make the ship invisible for 30 seconds. While going through labor pain, Sue uses her matchless power and manages to make the ship invisible, making it hard for the Herald to see it. Back in ship, Reed helps Sue give birth to their child, and shortly afterwards she gives birth to a baby son with the help of Ben and her husband Reed's. They return to Earth where the people are looking forward to seeing and congratulating them on defeating Galactus. Reed addresses the news reporters and apologizes to the people of the Earth for failing them as they couldn't defeat Galactus. He explains that they attempted to negotiate, but Galactus wanted his son in exchange for sparing the Earth and we said no. The Herald returns to the space god and informs him that the intruders have managed to escape. Then Galactus tells her that he needs that child very much. Back on Earth, Reed, who still believes that his son Franklin isn't a normal human being, runs another test on him but fails to find anything unusual. Meanwhile, people start protesting against the Fantastic Four and call them selfish as they are not ready to sacrifice Franklin for Earth's sake. The Fantastic Four also seem clueless because they have no plan to counter the space god Galactus. Sue, holding her son Franklin, who is believed to be the successor to the throne of Galactus, comes among the panicked people and addresses them, while some angry people call her selfish. Irrespective of this, she assures them, saying, "I will not sacrifice my child for this world, but I will not sacrifice this world for my child. We will face this problem together as a family." Reed explains his plan to the rest of the Fantastic Four team, asking them to give a lever and place to stand on, and he will move the Earth to a place that Galactus will never find it. Reed says that I've moved an egg across the room and do the same to the Earth to save it from the ravenous Galactus. He then demonstrates his plan to make them believe him. Sue calls on all the nations to unite and stand together in this time of crisis. Afterward, with the help of other nations, the bridges begin to be built upon which the Earth has to be shifted from space. In the meantime, Galactus's giant ship flies past Mars in space. Reed requires a lot of power to teleport the Earth, so all the nations conserve power for the fulfillment of the mission. Reed and his team begin teleporting the Earth before Galactus comes, and the whole world witnesses it. Shortly, the Herald makes her presence felt, destroying the bridges. Johnny immediately leaves to stop her from doing more destruction. He suddenly comes before her, calling her Shalabal, Herald's real name. The Herald is left stunned upon hearing her name. Johnny then plays 23 transmissions, all in Herald's language, tracing back to her home planet called Zenla. Shalabal recalls the moments when she was a scientist on her planet and used to live happily with her daughter. Johnny reminds her that she offered to serve as Galactus's scout to save her planet when he landed on her planet and how he turned you into this. Afterward, Johnny plays her several transmissions of different planets which Galactus destroyed. Hearing the painful cries of the tormented people, Shalabal falls into despair. She screams and flies back to space. Johnny also goes after and urges her to help them save Earth. She then suggests that they hand over the child to Galactus to keep the Earth safe like I did. Franklin catches Reed's sight, and seeing him, Reed says that we need to bring Galactus here on Earth. He explains to his team that they need to separate Galactus from his ship and bring him to Times Square. Reed indirectly says that we will use Franklin as bait to lure the space god. However, Johnny and Ben do not fall in with this idea of Reed. Keeping aside her maternal feelings, Sue allows Reed to use their son to trap Galactus. The following day, Reed places the crib that Franklin is in the middle of Times Square and waits for Galactus to arrive. In the dark night sky, the Fantastic Four spot Galactus's gigantic ship and become alert. The Fantastic Four place the crib in the middle and leave to hide. Shortly afterward, the terrifying space god Galactus lands on Earth. He, using the beam light, spots Franklin inside a crib in the distance, so he moves toward him. Reed and his team attack Galactus, trying to stop him from reaching Franklin. Johnny takes away Franklin's crib, and Reed replaces it with an empty crib to mislead Galactus. Johnny takes the crib and hides it away in the Baxter building. Reed, Ben and Sue wait for Galactus to step into the middle to trap him, but Galactus stops at the last moment when he finds the crib empty. He looks around only to find Franklin inside a nearby building. Therefore, he marches toward the Baxter building while Reed, Johnny, and Sue rush to hinder him. The mighty Galactus hurls Ben into space where he gasps for air. As Sue charges toward Galactus, he seizes control and sends her car crashing into a building. Then, Reed quickly rushes to block Galactus but is effortlessly overpowered and toyed with by the colossal space god. Galactus breaks into the building and seizes Franklin in his massive palm, declaring, "You are my salvation." With that, he begins to leave, but Sue desperately tries to stop him with her powers.
Sue, stop! Save our son! Johnny, the controls!
Johnny creates a portal to space that will remain open for just 37 seconds. Sue pushes Galactus with every ounce of her strength, managing to force him through the portal, but the effort leaves her lifeless. Moments later, Galactus immediately re-emerges from the portal to reclaim the infant. Seeing no other way, Johnny decides to sacrifice himself and confronts the cosmic devourer. Just then, Shalabal arrives, shoving Johnny aside. Fueled by vengeance for her devastated people, she charges at Galactus. She drags the space god back into the depths of the cosmos. In this act of sacrifice, Shalabal saves the Earth. However, Sue's life slips away during her struggle to protect Franklin. Reed desperately tries to revive her, but his efforts go down the drain, causing him to break down in tears. Franklin, reaching for his mother, is placed by Reed onto Sue's chest. In a miraculous moment, Sue's life is restored, revived by her son's immense latent power. The people of Earth express their gratitude to the Fantastic Four for once again saving their world. In the closing scene, Sue notices a mysterious figure playing with Franklin, an ominous person that appears to be none other than Dr. Doom.